I didn't want to stop short. It's like I constantly had ideas. What can I do to make this boat better? What can I do to make it perform better? Wanting to make something better, being passionate about a product being the best it can be, and then, imagine somebody stopping you short and saying, no, it's good enough. At that point, I'm a 28-year-old man, no kids, no wife. Worst thing that happens, I file bankruptcy and I end up having to work for somebody else. Best case scenario is exponential. Started with Ryan, my best friend, doing our own boats, just sick and tired of paying somebody to do something.
We had duck boats, we had paint jobs, we had paint guns. Then one day we just saw stencils on the internet and we bought a set and we just started painting.
The first two we painted are probably the ugliest boats we've ever painted. We didn't have a clue what we were doing when we first started.
Motors were the first thing. Then we'd paint some ice chests for people, paint our own ice chests, paint our own boats, paint our dad's boats. Friends would say something to us about what we had done, so we would paint something for them.
And then friends of friends, and then that referral led out to other people to the point where it's like, okay, I've got something here that I can make a business out of and do what I enjoy.
One of the biggest things that I can say about Zack is negativity is his biggest driving force for what he does.
Man, when you're sitting there at 21, 22 years old and you got some, they're not close friends, but call them like people you associate with, and they've got what they consider the best job they could ever have, and that's what they're going to do for the rest of their life. And you catch a lot of slack for that. It's like, man, you need to get a real job.
Why don't you stop that and get a real job? You ever going to get out of Ryan's dad's shop and get a real job?
You need to grow up and quit playing with those boats.
It's motivation is what it is. And for somebody like Zack, if anybody knows him, he's not going to stop. If he likes what he's doing or if he has a vision, he's going to do everything that he can to get to that vision. And all the hate that he received in his younger 20s was probably the biggest leading driving force why he's where he's at today. He called me one day, just tickled to death. I was like, man, what's up? What's wrong with you? You're acting funny. And he was just like, you're never gonna believe what I just got, or who I just got off the phone with. I was like, well, tell me, I wanna know. He said, Toxie Haze. I was like, wait, what? And he said, Toxie Haze. I was like, are you talking Mossy Oak Toxie Haze? And he was like, yes. They were talking about making a Gamekeeper Edition duck boat.
Ended up contracting another boat company to build that. And that's really when I started cutting my teeth on the manufacturing side. When I got on the manufacturing side, I was like, man, I can change a couple things and not have to do all this back-end work. Like, how cool would it be to make a boat run directly off the line instead of having to work it for 4 hours with a 4x4 and a sledgehammer to make it perform right?
Taking a product that was there and he was trying to make it better. Some of those were, hits that took hold, and most of them were hit with a brick wall.
Yes, I mean, when I got into the manufacturing side of it, I noticed a lot of voids that weren't being taken care of from a consumer aspect, because I'm the consumer ultimately. I use the product in the same way that our consumer uses the product. And, there's things I noticed that could be changed or corrected, for more consistency and for better performance. But unfortunately, I didn't own that company. There's things that they were pretty set on.
He just felt restrained all the time, felt like there was nothing that he could do to make the product better whenever he was putting his heart and soul into something that he wanted to be the best. I think that is going to wear on anybody that comes up with ideas all the time that are constantly shut down. Nobody wants to work in that atmosphere all the time. And when you do that year in and year out and you can't ever truly make the advancements in the products that you believe in, at some point you're going to give up, or you're going to want to do as Zack did and go out on your own.
Unfortunately, if I wanted to change those things, then the route to take it was going to be to start my own boat company. And at the same time, I was getting pushed by people that believed in me, really close friends, family, like, hey, you're driving this already. The only difference is you can't do everything you need to do. Like, they were pushing me to go out on my own, to start my own boat company. And obviously it was a dream of mine. I didn't know how realistic that dream really was. Ended up being a lot more attainable than I thought it was, just because God put me in the right places, in the right rooms with the right people at the right time. Very fortunate for all the relationships I made, and that's each one of those. I leveraged every dollar I've ever made in my life and a lot of relationships to get to where we're at now. But that's kind of how it all developed. Is just wanting to make something better, being passionate about a product being the best it can be. I think something that makes me unique and makes my company unique is the fact that we're hunters ourselves. A lot of these different companies that we compete with, or just in our market in general, I don't feel like they use the product the same way I do. So I was really, really driven as a hunter and end user of the product to make things better.
I have people that I still run into that are some of those guys that threw all of the shade at Zack in those earlier years, that walk up to me every single day that hadn't talked to him in 5 and 10 years. Man, when was the last time you talked to Zack Randall? Man, that's awesome. We can't believe that he's got a boat company down there, that he's building these boats. That's so awesome. It's like tables have turned. All of his drive and his dedication has led him where he is now.
I knew at a very young age, like, I wasn't cut out to work a normal job. Like, I would be miserable if I went to work the same place and did the same exact thing every single day for 30 years and never left there. I love where I'm from. I mean, don't get it twisted. I love where I'm from. I love the friends and family that I have there. But there was a whole lot more to life for me than staying right there in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. The mark I'd say I want to leave is being remembered for pursuing the things that I was passionate about, and ultimately being able to achieve some of them.